Hey everyone, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to open up a leveraged long position against USD. As you can see, there are a lot of popular tokens to choose from, even non-Ethereum based tokens like Bitcoin, DOGE, Solana, WIF, and many others. So the first thing that you're going to need to do here is deposit your collateral into the portal, which then gets converted into virtual tokens that can be used inside the portal however you wish. So I'm opening up a position in the portal by depositing my ETH and converting that ETH into virtual ETH tokens. As you can see, there's no fee for doing this swap, but once your tokens are inside the portal, there's a funding fee that starts to accumulate every hour. As you can see, it's just right here. You can see it's just a tiny fraction of a penny for the first hour because I haven't borrowed any tokens or anything yet. So this is because the portal is automatically hedging and borrowing or depositing your same amount of tokens to a centralized exchange, assuming you will be doing some sort of actions in the portal. So Loopring will always remain delta neutral with every position. Your tokens stay within your self-custodial wallet, but we're doing the hedging. So when this position is eventually closed out, those funding fees will be accounted for and deducted from any potential profits. So since we want to open up a leveraged long position against USD, the first action that we need to take is actually borrow some USD tokens. In this case, we're going to borrow Tether. As you can see, I can borrow up to 1,273 Tether based on my Ethereum collateral that I just deposited. So I have about $318 worth of virtual ETH. So this represents up to 5x leverage that I could take if I wanted to. Right now, I'm just going to borrow an additional 900 USDT, which represents just under around 4x leverage when counting also the virtual ETH that I have. It's super important to remember here that whatever tokens you borrow, this is what needs to be repaid to close your position in the portal in the future. Meaning if you borrow 900 USDT, like I'm doing right now, you need to repay 900 USDT, no matter what tokens you may trade into later, if that makes sense. You can also see the hourly funding rate that will incur once you borrow these tokens. So yeah, now that I've borrowed these tokens, you'll want to keep a close eye on the margin level in the top left of the dashboard. The closer this level gets to 1, the closer you get to automatically closing out your position. In this case, because my collateral is ETH, which is a little bit more volatile than USDT, I believe this would happen at a level of around 1.1, but it depends on the collateral that you have posted and how volatile it is. So for me, this is a little too close for my comfort, so I'm going to raise my margin level before I go leverage long. And as you can see with that description, there's two ways to raise your margin level. You can either deposit more collateral, in this case ETH, or I can simply repay some of the borrowed tokens. Either way, essentially you're just reducing your debt in the debt column by taking either action. So for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to quickly show you how to repay some of the borrowed tokens, which is very simple in this case because I still have 900 Tether, which I just borrowed, and I'm simply going to repay 300 of those tokens to reduce my debt and increase my margin level. Super simple, quick. There's no additional fee for repaying that amount. So as you can see now back at the dashboard, my margin level is back up to into the green to a much more comfortable 1.53. So basically what I've done is just lower my leverage back down to around 4x. No, sorry, from 4x to around 3x. And by clicking into the debt section here, you can actually expand it and see more details on the debt that you owe. In this case, I still have around 600 Tether tokens I owe back. I have exactly 600 Tether tokens I owe back. So you can also see the funding fees that I've incurred so far from holding this debt. So now that I'm comfortable with the margin level, I'm going to head to the trade tab and swap into the long position that I want. First, heading into the trade tab, and first I'm going to choose USDT because that's the virtual tokens I already have in my portal account. And for simplicity, I'm just going to open up a long position on Ethereum today. You can see at the top, it shows how much USDT I'm holding, which is 600. This is all I want to use because I'm comfortable with this leverage level already. You can also see at the top that you have the ability to increase your leverage here. I could max it out and swap into twice as much ETH if I wanted to. This would actually automatically borrow more USDT and then swap into the ETH all in one transaction if I did that. Super important also to remember that this trade is actually happening simultaneously on a centralized exchange, in this case Binance, as Loopring is hedging this to remain delta neutral. So as a user, you benefit from getting this deep CEX liquidity with very limited slippage, but there are also fees that are incurred on this swap, just as they would be on a CEX. Even though your tokens are remaining within your self-custodial control, there's still hedging going on as CEX. So yeah, those swap fees are accounted for here. So back at the dashboard, now that that trade's been made, you can see my full position back at the dashboard. One sec. So yeah, you can see I now have $915 worth of ETH in my account, which is approximately 3x the ETH that I had deposited as collateral originally, if you can remember, and a tiny bit of tether dust left over because it didn't quite execute 100% the swap. So yeah, as you can see, as it goes on here, the profit column and all of the other levels are automatically going to live update based on the markets. I've taken a leverage long position on Ethereum, so essentially I'm betting that ETH is going to go up in value against USDT. So if I'm right, I can make more profit on this bet than I could simply by buying and holding ETH spot in my original asset part of the wallet. At any point during this position, if your margin level comes down because ETH goes down in price, you can click the margin call button. Let me do that. And add more ETH or USDT to the portal as collateral, and that'll reduce your debt and raise your margin level. You can also, up in the top right there, you can see there's your records. You can click into that to see more details on all of the transactions or actions that you've taken in the portal position so far. As you can see. And then if you exit out of this, you can actually go back to your wallet, the wallet's asset page, and you can see your original collateral there that you had posted to the portal. If you expand on that, you'll see that it's locked as it's currently in use in the portal. This unlocks again when you close out your position. So obviously, plus or minus any profits or losses you may have incurred in the portal. So yeah, that is it for this tutorial. Stay tuned for more tutorials with other videos going through other scenarios soon. Thanks for watching.